Perfect. Okay, so shall we start?
Sure, Jyoti.
Hi, Siddharth. Thank you so much for being here, and it's a wonderful morning and great to see you after a very long time.
Very good morning, and it is good for me to see you after a long time. And thanks for having me here.
Perfect. Okay. So, Siddharth, this interview is going to be pretty short, so close to 30 minutes. We'll try to finish. I have only five, six questions to ask you.
Okay,
Okay. So, we'll
no
start with understanding what kind of life you've been having all this while. I mean, you stay alone in Pune, and how is your life right now?
My life is blissful. Let me make it a very short and crisp summary of my life.
Mm-hmm.
By common norms, it
Mm-hmm.
is not a very perfect life because my wife and family is far away because of her professional obligations and my son's studies. I'm
Mm-hmm.
staying alone, and I'm trying to do work which can impact positively people's lives.
Okay.
So that way it is blissful. And even though my family and myself are far away, we are constantly in touch. So yes, it's not perfect, but yes, it is very blissful, very peaceful, and I feel blessed.
So how are you dealing with current situation? Being in home, not be able to meet your family and friends that frequently. Life is kind of we are living in a house and kind of only restricted to this particular premises, not able to frequently go out. So somehow the common life has become uncommon, and that uncommon has become common now.
Yes, yes, absolutely true. Sometimes you feel claustrophobic in this situation. That you cannot go out, you cannot just go for it and normal dining or something. But
Mhm.
the situations you can never choose the situations, right? I mean, the situations come to you automatically, and everybody, I feel, should have the ability to adapt to the situation, changing situation. As the cliche goes that change is the only constant thing in life. It happens, right? And I fail to understand why people cannot adapt to the changes. This change that has been thrown to us, to all of us, the humankind, was absolutely unforeseen, right? I mean, it was not anticipated. It came suddenly as a bolt from the blue.
Mhm.
But whole world is still surviving, and there's, I mean, it is difficult. It is not always easy, but you need to make it easy by just changing your way of living the days.
Perfect. So that I think, when we get wisdom, I think it comes with a very strong experience. So why don't you share a little bit about your life, a little bit about your experience, what you have been doing, a little bit about your career, the journey you've had so far?
Yeah, so if I try to talk about my journey, it's a wonderful journey, as everybody's life is. I had a very comfortable life to start with.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, Good studies, good family, very supportive parents, very nice sibling. Um, I was quite well, reasonably well in studies. Did well in my secondary, higher secondary, as well as engineering joint entrance. I qualified for engineering in back in 1988. Sounds like last century, of course, but I mean years ago. But yes, so I got into engineering, studied electrical engineering, passed out in 1992. Immediately got into the job, as it happens for any engineer. And the job was very satisfying. It was the first job was away from my home city. I'm originally from Calcutta, but and it was a site work. Uh, so should
Yeah.
I? Yeah.
Yeah, please continue. I just got a call, and because of which the screen went black.
Okay. I thought that you were. So, I worked, and then let me tell you that I worked for 27 years, all through in the energy industry, power sector, to be
Mhm.
very precise. Initially I was in the site commissioning as a commissioning engineer, then in different places. Then moved into my home city, Calcutta. Worked for the Calcutta's biggest power utility, Calcutta Electric Supply Corporation, which is India's oldest private power utility. And worked there for 10 and a half years
Mhm.
as an operations engineer, as a senior engineer, was in charge of shifts, was pretty successful, and was very satisfying. I mean, it was tensed. I mean, always, I mean, you are maintaining managing a power plant operations and all. So it was it was quite taxing, but it was never stressful. I enjoyed my work also. And then in 1997, I appeared for CAT to see my options in the management field. And thankfully, I qualified in CAT as well. So I got admitted in Indian Institute of Management in Calcutta, completed my management in 2000. And then I changed my complete career from the engineering side to commercial side. I moved to Pune, the beautiful city of Pune, to join Tata Honeywell as a national marketing manager for Power Vertical. Then worked there for a few years, moved to Delhi to join India, world's largest multinational, General Electric. Worked there, and I was pretty successful, I must say, for 7 years. I was the first Indian to get the Global Sales Award in GE Energy. And then again in 2012, 7 years after spending my days in Delhi, I again changed my job to join a European multinational, a French multinational, Areva Solar, in Mumbai. So I again moved back to the western side of the country, worked there for a few years, got good growth. I was given the additional responsibility of Southern Africa. So I was shuttling between Mumbai and Johannesburg, which was my second office. In 2013, I got elevated to managing director's position for Areva Solar in India. But in 2014, there was a big twist in the tale. I first lost my father, and within a month or so, when I was traveling on a business trip to China, I suffered a near fatal incident in my life. And when I recovered, I came to understand that my business has also globally exited from that sector. So that was a quite life-turning event. But I'm thankful that even that happened. I mean, of course, that time I was not. But today, when I look back, I find that these are the incidents of life which gives you the variety, which gives you the experience, and which gives you the tenacity to survive and again grow.
So, what that experience taught you, like you've been through so much near death experience, and you came out of it, you bounced back. And what was your initial thought process of facing something that big and then bouncing back in life and trying to recreate life for yourself?
First reaction when I came back to consciousness, I asked my wife that, what do you think, why it happened? Because I now, that time I realized that suddenly so many bad things, so-called bad things happened in my life. I lost my father, I lost myself, I lost my job. So my first thought was, what did I do to get this? And then very quickly, thankfully, I could regain myself to understand that when all the good things happen in my life, I never ask this question, that why this so many good things are happening. So why should I ask this question now? I should take it in my stride. The good things happen as well as the bad things may also happen. So after this initial response of what did I do to get this, my second thing was that I will have to come out of this. I cannot be just demoralized or dejected or depressed. I need to fight back and get back into my normal life.
Okay. So after that, I think it's been a couple of years that you've been, dealing and coping up with these things. Now, what is that one thing which you call source of energy or source of strength for yourself? Like for me personally, I call that inner light, where we feel that there is some power within us which is helping us grow, which is showing us a path, right? Now, do you ever felt that there was something which is guiding you exactly in the similar fashion?
Absolutely. I never, let me be very honest, I never felt like that before this unfortunate incident happened in my life. After that incident, and after when I came back again into normal life, again when I became normal physically, work life, I started doing my own career. Then I realized that there must be something, and I every day I started feeling that some guiding force is helping me to cope with the situation, to grow out of this situation. And there is a force which I don't know what we should call it. There is a force guiding us. And let me be very honest, let me be very open about one thing. Every day these days I feel blessed. And I don't know whom I am grateful to, but I feel extreme gratitude to the universe, for the universe, that it is helping me even in this difficult situation for the whole mankind. I'm surviving well. I have a very peaceful family life. I have a very good, trying to get back into a thriving professional life again. So yes, I feel that there is similar to you, I feel that there is a guiding light, guiding force which controls us.
Okay. So, so what do you do when you feel low? Like, because this happens in everybody's life. Like, doesn't matter how many highs we have, there is a point where we go get low, right? But how do you come out of that situation? Like, do you take somebody's help, or do you do something for yourself? Or I mean, how is it that you bounce back from that low moment to a high moment?
Um, different times, different things I try to cling to. Initially, immediately after that incident in 2015 or so, when I was very down,
Mm-hmm.
I thought of picking up some new hobby or new habit,
Mm-hmm.
which will be good physically, mentally, as well as which will keep me occupied from that deep depression.
Okay.
So I started daily swimming,
Mm-hmm.
and in one of those swimming days, I was in the middle of the pool, and I was just thinking about what I have lost. I was a managing director, I was in a good corporate position, uh, and I was again, and then suddenly one moment, and I think this is the turning point in everybody's life. One moment comes. That day I just thought of why I am always thinking what I have lost. Let me think about what I have retained.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started, when I during the course of that swimming itself, when I started counting about those things that I'm blessed with, I found those are far outnumbering the things that I have lost. And that is the time I remember that day when I was coming out of the pool, suddenly I realized that probably everybody has this. Probably people's blessings are far outnumbering their uh, curses, but probably people are only counting the adversities and not the blessings. So that is one thing that keeps me ticking even today. After that eventful realization, I feel that every day when I feel lonely, or low, especially in this kind of pandemic situation, I try to again look at the things that are going bright, that are still shining bright. And actually, and then one thing, apart from swimming, one thing I picked up about around a couple of years back, I started having a meditation every day.
Okay.
And that really gives you a peace of mind, in the sense that gives you a complete space of time when you can go inside, you can go within and and can think about your directions that you are going to. So that is another thing that I am very much clinging to these days.
Okay. So, nowadays we've been hearing a lot about having a mentor or a coach in life. And I mean, being in the same profession, I also feel that it is required. But what do you feel that why do you need somebody to help you guide yourself? Okay. It could be a mentor or a coach or somebody you have complete faith in where you can share yourself, right? You can share what is
Yes,
happening when you, what are the challenges you're facing. And I think every single day there is something or the other happens that we need clarity on. And if I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I only see what I know, right? I cannot see something which I do not know. But if I speak to somebody, the person can probably notice something which I can't see. And that is why, for me, I feel that having a coach or a mentor in life is very important. What do you think about it?
I completely agree. I initially, again, this is a late realization. I started realizing it around 2 years, 2.5 years back,
Mm-hmm.
when I thought of getting into coaching
Mm-hmm.
profession. And I realized that time that coach may not be always guiding you or hand holding you in every step, but a good coach can be a good sounding board.
Mm-hmm.
You always need a listening ear in
Mm-hmm.
front of you, who can contribute after listening actively to, of your things. And then I am having some good people around, including you, to sometimes sound them out about my thoughts, about what is going on in life. and that is a that has a very cathartic effect. And a good coach like you can really help out in making very small interventions verbally, and just give you a better course of vision in the life.
Okay. So, I've been getting a lot of thoughts lately about how is it that you need to plan your life, right? Because every single day we wake up and we randomly start living our life depending on whatever the world is throwing at us, the environment is throwing at us, and we are just living our life on autopilot mode. So, how can you help me with something which we can tell our audience that don't live our life on autopilot mode, start planning it? Can you give us some tips?
Yeah, I mean, when you say autopilot mode, I mean, in a very common term, I mean, people go through their motions, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just living their life.
Mhm.
But I mean, I also do the same. I am also an ordinary person, but I do a lot of planning as well. I mean, it is not that it will have to be meticulous. It will be have to be, but there is a overall planning. I mean, I know previous night that next day how I will go through my day. I mean, what are the good things, or what are the constructive things that I will take up? What are the things that will add value to my life? And what are the things that I will be doing to add value to other people's lives? I mean, that is also another part of a coach's life, is that you always also think about how you can, no matter how small it can be, how you can contribute to an other person's life when he or she needs it, right? So, and when you have this thought previous night, it is very easy, I would say, at least it is easy for me, I have seen, to navigate through the day next day. You know that these are the tasks that, or these are the things that you need to accomplish that day. You need to make sure that you pick up few things, or you do some right things which will help you in achieving that goal. And so you live your life freely, you live your life as you want it, but there should be an overarching planning process which guides you through that day.
So, what are the few things which you would like to let us pinpoint that in which direction we need to plan our day? Like a lot of time people are confused that what exactly this planning is all about. What do we need to plan our meals? Do we need to plan our travel? But these are the few things people are unaware of. They think that these are the things we are looking at in terms of planning, right? But I think it has a much deeper meaning in terms of how would you want to feel the next day? Because feeling your emotions are not important nowadays. I mean, I feel people are not thinking about it. They're not thinking that their quality of life depends on the quality of emotions you have, the quality of feelings you have. That has been like for me personally, I feel that every person needs to have clarity of mind in order to make a planning, because you need to be
Yes.
clear first in order to create a plan. And when you create a plan, you can only execute when you understand, and understanding again comes from clarity when you have something in terms of clarity. So these are my few thoughts. Now you tell me, how would you take thought process?
Yeah, you know the to consolidate that thought process,
Mm-hmm.
we had a very good tool. I mean, we have a very good tool, and I'm sure that you also use it,
Mm-hmm.
which is called wheel of life.
Okay.
I mean, one should very closely look at how his or her life is distributed in different sectors.
Mm-hmm.
All of us have different segments in our lives, right? I mean, we have our professional ambitions, we have some desire for contribution, we have our personal life, we have uh, not to forget about fun and easygoing things.
Mm-hmm.
Are we touching upon, or equally distributing, or evenly distributing, I won't say equally, evenly distributing all these factors in our lives, so that we can make it a meaningful life even for ourselves? I mean, I'll give you an example. I mean, at this age, in last 4 5 years, I started understanding that after gaining so much of experience, having global experience and all, I probably now need to focus more on contributing back to the society and to the people whom I know, who may need some help. So, but at the same time, when you start feeling like that, you should not also ignore yourself, because when you are not fulfilled, you cannot fulfill other people's lives. So
Absolutely.
to your question, I would say that first of all, look at the purpose of your life, and the purpose changes with age also. I mean at different phases of life we have different purposes.
Mhm.
Second is that see and look at your life, your present life, and find whether you are evenly justifying your all aspects of life,
Mhm.
whether you are too much biased on your professional ambition and ignoring your personal life, or whether you are doing the other way around. And three is that implement those. I mean, this is good thing to talk about, wheel of life, thought process. But unless and until we start actively implementing those processes, it
Mhm.
does not make sense, right? So that is how I at least go about in life.
Okay. But most of the time people don't feel the need to implement because usually the hard things people want to avoid. So
Yes,
implementation is probably the hardest thing. We can acquire knowledge, we can
yes,
acquire skill, but how to use them to the fullest or to your advantage is the problem. And that is the problem with a lot of people. Maybe you and I also face sometimes that execution becomes the most difficult thing. And that is why I always say that, divide your activity into small, small chunks. Then
yes,
it becomes achievable.
yes. Now I was coming to that. I mean, you you hit the nail on the head. You need to when you are looking at the life wheel of life, and then when you are thinking about how you should plan and all, at the same time you should keep a task list
Mhm.
which you can tick every every regular interval, and it depends on how much interval you feel and you choose. You need to keep track of the things that you are accomplishing or you are trying to do. You cannot just keep it in your thought process, and you cannot just keep it in your PPT or in Excel chart, right? So that is why I in your to your previous question I said that implement it.
Mhm.
Implementation, and you said it rightly as well, that implementation is very important. Just keep track of what are the things previous night when you are planning your day, and when you are go through that day, you just should keep track, whether mentally or whether in a piece of paper or in computer. You just keep track of what are the things that you planned and what you have accomplished or you are in the process of accomplishing.
Mhm.
Otherwise these things will all remain theoretical, and this will all remain in our head and in computer the hard disk.
I agree completely with you. Nowadays, people are focusing too much outward. They're focusing on what is happening, the trend, the situation, the media, the news which is coming from external forces. But there are very few who really listen to their inner voice. Who listen to what there is something somebody's telling you from within. And that voice is most of the time is unsung. Like the sound is being suppressed, or you never listen to it, so that the voice itself becomes too fainted. It doesn't have that strength. You're not giving it strength by focusing on it, and that is what is happening with a lot of us, I would say. And so, Siddharth, I think we've almost covered everything I wanted to kind of talk to you about. What are the few things you would want to let our audience know that if they follow these things, their life will become better? Because at the end, we all are trying to contribute somewhere in people's lives so that little bit of transformation can happen. And at the same time, if our words can create some impact in somebody's life, and if their life can become better, and that is the work we are planning to do, that is the work we are intending to do here, right? If you can just give us few words which people can implement in their life and feel that they have made a little bit of progress from yesterday to today.
Yeah, so that actually, it's a good question, Jyoti. I would say that that requires every person to have a window of time
Mhm.
in every day
Mhm.
to introspect.
Okay.
I mean, and introspect does not mean that you will be going long into some reverie or something like that.
Mhm.
But I alluded to this thing a little while ago. I got into meditation, and
Mhm.
it does not mean that it's a prolonged meditation every day or something. I mean,
Mhm.
it is every day I do it,
Mhm.
but that 10 minutes or 15 minutes time gives me an ample opportunity to look inward. That
Okay.
is the time when I listen to my inner voice.
Mhm.
I listen to the things that I am missing out, And these, I think, to your question, I would say that everybody should take out some time to spend with himself or herself for a while in a day, and go through some of the tools that I use, and probably you also use. I don't know. We have a program called Incredible You. So those tools that can really help in people, help people in consolidating their thought process, going within. And it is almost like a meditation. I mean, you can give it different names. I mean, you can give it meditation, you can use through different tools. But the your to answer your question, the key is to go inside, look at, hear your inner voice, and again base your next day's planning based on that inner voice, what you realized in that deep thought or deep understanding.
Golden words. I would say that if anybody who listens to you and really try to follow that in their life, they will definitely see some sort of positive impact happening in their life. And whatever you've told us today, it's really wonderful because you come up, you have to close to 27, 30 years of experience. You know a lot of people, you've done a lot of things, and you have summarized the entire experience and the learning in this 30, 35 minutes, which is wonderful. And I hope that whoever watches this video learns something, and applies something in their life. Because at the end, learning is good, but applying is more important.
Yes,
If you don't
absolutely.
do the application, learning is actually not useful. So just, binge watching videos is not going to help, but applying a small amount of information which you've learned in your life can really bring about the right transformation. So thank you so much for being here and giving us your valuable time. And it was really nice speaking to you and seeing you after a very long time. And I hope we can create and co-create this, sometime again, as in when we come up with a different topic where we would want to help our audience and people in large to get some sort of enlightenment in the things they want to acquire in their life. Thank you so much for being here, and
It
thank you,
was entirely my pleasure, and thanks for having me, Jyoti. Wish you all the best.
thank you
Grow in
so
life.
much. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Bye.